the scandal of grace. You died in my place, so my soul will live.
So my boy Judgment Awaits puts out this video about discipleship. Link is in the description. And I couldn't agree more. We have been given a charge with the theologians, people who read the Bible, churches, what they call the Great Commission, to go out and make disciples of all nations. And they call it the Great Commission. And like I said, I couldn't agree anymore. We need to go out and make disciples of all people. But is that really the Great Commission? He puts out this video, and you guys, anybody who's ever watched my videos before, you know I'm a thinker. Well, this got me to thinking. Recently in church, we've been talking about this new series called The Heart of the Matter, and they talked about love and how important it is to us as Christians. What exactly is love? And we have several verses. We got 1 Corinthians 13 that outlines love for us. What is it? Well, love is, you guys fill in the blank. Everyone just said it. Patient, kind, not boasting, not proud, not envious. We all know, etc., etc. Before it gets into telling us what love is, it also tells us what love can do and not do, and what we can and cannot do with and without love. It tells us that though I speak with the tongues of men or of angels, but have not love, profits me nothing. And though I give all of my possessions to the poor and have not love, I am nothing. And though I give my body to be burned, but I do not do it with love, nothing. Goose egg. Yada. Zilch. It's crazy to think about that. There's a story of the Pharisees. They come up to Jesus and they call him Master or Teacher, which was their sarcastic, condescending way, because they didn't think he was a rabbi or a teacher. They thought he was crazy. They thought he was a heretic, and he's teaching the people, and he's kind of encroaching upon their little scheme they have going, their little plot to control the people, I guess, through religion, through the law. And Jesus is telling people it's not about the law. And so they try and trap him by saying, Teacher, what is the greatest commandment? And he says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Upon these two commandments all the laws and prophets rest. Everything else rests. Basically, Jesus is telling us that if you can't get this one thing right, to love the Lord your God, then nothing else matters. Are we understanding what Paul is telling us? That we could give our bodies to be martyrs for the sake of Christ. But if we're not doing it with love, it means absolutely nothing. And where does this start? Where does this change start? Where does this motivation start? And it's exactly there. It's what are we doing to motivate ourselves? The Bible tells us to do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but everything in lowliness of mind. And where does that lowliness come from? Lowliness of mind is translated into humility. It's thinking more high of other people than ourselves. Not that they're better than us and that we're worse or in some way inferior, but they're worth serving, they're worth loving more so than us loving ourselves. And that's the motivation behind it. 1 John tells us that if you love, then you know God, because God is love. To love others, Jesus says the second is to love your neighbor as yourself. If you love others, then you love God. Then you know God. So what are we doing to show that we love? Because we all know from DC Talk back in the day, thank you all children of the 90s, that love is a verb. When in the sentence, I love you, we know grammatically that love is a verb in that sentence, which shows or indicates action. And so when we just say I love you, what does it mean if we don't back it up? And so yes, we need to go forth and make disciples of all nations. It is a commission, but it's not the greatest commission. The greatest commission that we have is that to love. And so I do back Judgment Awaits by saying, go forth, make disciples of all nations, but to do it with love. The motivation in which we do everything for the sake of Christ should be with love. Guys, we have to start loving each other. We have to start loving God by loving others. Because if we don't, then we, especially myself, am nothing. That's all I got for you guys today. Hasta luego, mis amigos.